Keep your hand underneath there. Get your hand underneath there. Okay, so this, you may remember this job, was a 400 or 500 gallon corner tank that we overhauled. And today what we need to do is pull out the refrigeration unit because it was so poorly installed, and there is an issue with the refrigeration unit, so we've got to cut the old refrigeration unit out and end up putting it in a much better way. So let's get to work.
She was holding a camera and I'm carrying
So this is the filtration system here. That's the sump, the protein skimmer, the main circulation pump is over here. ATO reservoir, all of the Apex stuff, and the calcium reactor that we installed. Down at this end is where the refrigeration unit is. Now, this tank was installed by those knuckleheads out of Las Vegas, and that aspect of it's okay. It's the refrigeration unit and how it was put in that's just kind of stupid, and that was done by the local rep for the knuckleheads in Las Vegas. Not only is the refrigeration unit 90 degrees to the airflow within the cabinet, but the way that he's plumbed it, it was just never intended to come out, and he didn't have the right amount of valves in there, so we're having to shut off the flow from the underside of the tank and on the top of the pump. And what we're going to do is pull that refrigeration unit out. We're going to cut it out, build a platform to bring it up to the same level as that ventilation grid. We'll turn the new refrigeration unit 90 degrees so that its airflow is positive exhaust as far as the cabinet's concerned, and that little exhaust fan there. So anyhow, as I said, let's get to work. Alright, so what we're going to do here is cut the line here and cut the line here. That will allow us to remove that UV unit, get this canister out of here, and we can then pull the refrigeration unit out. Once the refrigeration unit is pulled out, we'll set it over here on the table, and we're going to attempt to repair it by replacing the starting capacitor and the thermal overload switch, which we suspect may be the problems. Hopefully they are. That would be a relatively inexpensive fix. If not, we'll end up having to send the chiller in to have it repaired. So he's currently getting the UV sterilizer out of there, and then again the next step will be to cut that pipe. All right, this seems to be easily done. So those plastic snap clamps are on there. Our illustrious service guy actually had used what I'm going to call bale twine at one point in place of a clamp. Now I can kind of understand something be used temporarily because many times you don't always have the stuff on hand, but he never obviously ever did finish the job. So Clever and MacGyver as he might be, in the long run, not a good service guy.
Well, that was quick. Got all the old crap out. I get the damn chiller out of here and we can test and make sure that everything is hunky-dory once we change the parts.
Need some help there? So it's about a 3-year-old Aqualogic condensing unit built by Tecumseh. We are not sure what the problem is. The fan runs, but as soon as the compressor comes on, it kicks itself off right away. Whether that's a compressor issue or a starting capacitor issue or a thermal overload, we don't know. The homeowner purchased a thermal overload kit, which includes the starter and apparently a relay. So that was about $100. So we're going to try to attempt to see if that'll solve the problem itself, as opposed to having to send the unit into Aqualogic to be repaired. So while Scott is working on the refrigeration unit repairs, we'll take a little bit look at the tank. It's still in the morning, and these lights typically don't come on till the end of the day, but it's really doing quite well. We have been running the tank on little fans here in place of the refrigeration unit for the last week, and granted the last couple of days have been cool, but the first part of the week with all the Santa Ana winds and the fires that you may have seen on TV, it was actually pretty warm. Now the very interesting thing is those fans quite capably through evaporative cooling controlled the water temperature in the tank. So if it turns out that this chiller is not repairable by us today, we are in a position where we can still cool the tank quite capably. Again, the lights are just now being turned on, so I've only got the blues, but the tank is actually doing really quite well. The Montipora back there, the Montipora capricornus is growing. The Colostria or candy coral definitely is. You can see the bird's nest is expanded. The durian star coral, the hammer corals, the soft coral is still in the process of opening up. This brain coral here you can see on the top there is now spreading over onto the rock itself. So that's really doing quite well. This Montipora capricornus is expanded. There's an acro there. Don't know if you can see it. Then there's a Montipora digitata that's got new growing peaks on. One of the interesting things is that the button pull-ups, those green ones there in the back and these ones down here, it's taken about a year, but they're now starting to rebound, so they're starting to open up. Interesting that they took so long to do so. Hammer corals and the toadstools. So overall, we're doing really quite well with the tank, and water chemistry wise it's doing extremely well as well. We ordered it based on the same model number.
I'm sure it'll work. The problem is this little holder here is not going to work. I'm going to take that
That's
out.
not a good thing.
Well,
There is another cap back inside there, isn't there?
Another cap.
Possibly for the thermal overload
What are you talking about?
in the package.
No, that's for the capacitor.
Oh.
So you switch on.
It was the model numbers we matched up, so
No, it's just this hold down bracket's not going to work, so you take that out somehow.
So, your cool nano reef tank is doing great, but you've got an algae problem? Consider the drop from Santa Monica Filtration. 7 sizes to easily fit into the filter compartment of most nano tanks. And just like their bigger cousins, the Hog and the Surf, all use air bubbles and LED light technology to grow algae. Algae that consumes nutrients. And that algae replaces itself at no new cost to you. For more information on Santa Monica Filtration's drop, hog, and surf algae scrubbers, visit santa-monica.cc. Hi there, my name's Jim Stime and you know me as the LA Fish Guy. Well, I also wear a couple of other hats. One of them is the jellyfish tank called the Jelly Aquarium, and the third is myfishtank.com. I offer an entire line of acrylic aquariums ranging from rectangular to hexagon, flatback hex, as well as the custom curve front aquariums. There's also an entire line of stands and canopies ranging from MDF to pine to oak with a variety of different finishes available. And the website is even smart enough that you can calculate what the freight and crate charges to your location will be. That's myfishtank.com. Next time you're near Long Beach, California, take the time to stop in at Age of Aquariums, 2642 Cherry Avenue, just off the 405 freeway near Signal Hill. Age of Aquariums carries a full line of dry goods, supplements, and exotic equipment. Age of Aquariums also carries a wide assortment of living corals, coral frags, as well as fresh and saltwater fish, ranging from the usual, the unusual, and the bizarre. Age of Aquariums is located at 2642 Cherry Avenue, Long Beach, California, near Signal Hill. Open 7 days a week. Call 562-438-6252 or visit ageofaquariums.biz.
So it's plugged in, the exhaust fan is running. We have yet to hear the compressor come on yet. And what did you replace in there?
We replaced the start capacitor, which I don't think there was any issues with that. I don't see any bulging, but I didn't pull this thing out. The coil or whatever the hell this thing is.
Some kind of a relay is what it looks like.
Perhaps. And then the thermal overload switch, so.
I've not heard the compressor kick on, but I haven't heard anything kick off yet either.
I have to say, I think we fixed it.
What's that?
I think we fixed it.
That would be very cool. That would make them real happy.
Yeah.
And we could actually complete the job today.
Yes, sir. We're going to complete the job today.
So it appears as though replacing those three components has resolved the problem with the refrigeration unit. So that's a good thing.
And now we can get rid of the cluster beep sensor of plumbing that was in there.
Redo the plumbing so it's done flow-wise efficiently, as far as water, airflow-wise even more efficiently,
And service-wise,
much more accessible.
Yeah, because you couldn't get this chiller out of there without cutting all the plumbing out because the way it was done. So next thing we got to do is prep this chiller for the installation. Get these fittings off of here and get it ready, and then I can get this thing into position and figure out exactly. All done. Woohoo!
Oh, do the dance. Come on, do the dance.
No Teletubby for you.
Do the dance. Come on.
All right, let's get our threaded fittings in there and get our nasty pipe up. See, one thing you don't want to do is use Teflon tape with threaded fittings, PVC threaded fittings. Yeah, I know a lot of people out there do it, but if you go to the PVC manufacturers' websites like Lasco and stuff, they're very specific about not using Teflon tape and PVC fittings. And when I use pipe dope, I never ever have any leaks. Always right the first time. So this stuff is Ote Great White with PTFE. They do tell you not to use any kind of Teflon-based sealants just because you can over tighten them, but this is Teflon based. I've never had an issue, and I just kind of goop it on there and make sure that the threads are fully filled. Goes in nice and easy and will never leak. Stuff is nasty though. Always make sure I got plenty of paper towels. Had to rob Jim's kitchen before we came out here to get some paper towels because stuff's always all over my hands. I hate it. But never have a leak.
So now we've got a nice little table to set the chiller on. that's at the same height as that exhaust vent. We'll turn the chiller 90 degrees, which will connect it to the plumbing more effectively or efficiently. And of course it'll also allow the air to move in a singular direction, aided by that exhaust fan through that exhaust vent. So this will be real nice. So with the chiller now sitting on its new platform, what we'll need to do is determine, does that inlet pipe there line up with that pipe there? We may end up having to trim the legs on the stand. Quarter of an inch, that's not bad.
It's close, but not quite. So let's get a tape measure, and we can measure to the top of here. Maybe a little bit less than a quarter of an inch. Well, actually, shit. Almost looks like it needs to come up a quarter of an inch. Where's your tape measure? Alright, so if you look down here, Jim, you can see we're a little low there. Found this nice little piece of whatever the heck it is. Now, we're perfect.
Hot dog.
Hot diggity. Alright. So, we're going to put a union ball valve between the chiller and the return setup. So, and the good thing is that we got some room to play here too. I can already see the output's going to be fun, but we're going back, so we'll be good there. So what we want to do is figure out how big our union ball valves are.
You can always do the elbow as opposed to the ball valve first.
So let's see, and then we're going to come out into the UV. We're going to come out, the UV is going to go up, down. All right. Jump around, go up. Union ball valve. We want to make sure that we leave enough room so that if for some reason they got a monkey with this fan again, there's enough room. You. So, all right, we're pretty golden there. And of course we want to be able to shut the chiller off, so the valve's got to go this way. So now the other issue that we're going to run into, I can see already, is the leg here, and Jim says that we can't move that thing back at all.
Well, I don't think much, because if you look at the other leg,
No.
it's kind of custom made in that spot.
We're pretty tight, so let me just see what we got going back here. We're moving that thing down. It's halfway down the way, so we can move this table. And now we got enough room to clear our valve. Hold in there.